So we need to, let's just see the stance and how you're developing on those. Okay, if you're narrow, it means that you can sprawl, but it's going to take you time to sprawl. So you need to be just a little bit wider. No, look, just think of it this way. That if I'm fighting an orthodox fight, this foot's got to penetrate inside this leg. If he's turning around, this foot's got to actually be working around this side on this guy. Now if you're faced this way, it means that you're more likely to be lining up like that. Yeah. Your stance is square, but your body ain't. Right. So my stance, if you like, that stance is allowing me to get the angle on this leg. It's allowing me to punch out. If a kick's coming in, it's allowing me to punch off there. If I'm here, that kick's developing a lot of force around me. I can't come in. I can't actually make an entrance in. Yeah. Are you with it? And your shoulders none of this is a rule. Because you're going to see somebody like Randy Couture or whoever is going to break all the rules. Yeah. but the truth is, if he's already become a specialist in what he does, it means that he's adapted whatever attributes he's got and whatever skills he's got to the game he's going to play. He's strategized that. But if you want to have a reference point by which you reach a plateau. You don't know why you're getting kicked. You don't know why you're not being able to take down. You don't know why your punch ain't working. It usually will go back to the fact that you've got no what? No fundamental. Yeah. And if you keep referring back to what your trainer's telling you, your trainer might be bloody on the moon. Yeah. He might just want that to be what he wants it to be, or what he saw somebody else do, or what he was told to do. But unless you've got some kind of basic fundamental outline, and it ain't mean, it's not like karate where it's fixed and for life. Yeah. It changes because as the fight changes, as what you see more in the fight occurring, so you change what is fundamental to that fight. Is that true? Yes. If all what's fundamental to the fight is doing a reverse punch, so let's just look at the stance. Stance, we've got, that's your first thing. How essentially do I place my foot? If my foot's too far out, what's going to happen? He's going to shoot it or he's going to kick it. So I've got to find a way whereby this stance can probe. I'm not standing there and doing an exchange. Because if I stood there and did an exchange, then it means that basically I've entered into the Muay Thai, I've entered into the boxing mode. I'm now entered into the ring. I've gone into the ring. I'm fighting under specialized rules. Here the rules are different. This guy, if you kick, if you punch, he can take you down. So I have to increase the range. So that means I've got to have a more availability, if you like, of probing with that left leg. Or my right leg if I'm a southpaw. Does it make some sense? A lot of guys, because they're taking it like, I take a bit of sambo, I take a little bit of judo, I take some jiu-jitsu, I take some Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I take a little bit of Muay Thai, I take a little bit of boxing, and then they put it together and you've got like chop suey. I don't know, does it make sense? You can still win that way. But the idea really is to think, what is this game telling me I can and I can't do? What are the restrictions? Not by the rules, yes, but what can I do and what can't I do? And how could I do that better? I need to be able to shoot. I need to be able to punch and kick. If he's coming in to shoot, I need to be able to sprawl. I need to be able to clear, I need to be able to go around, I need to be able to go on, I need to be able to turn him over, I need to be able to choke him out. And I need, if you like, to be able to fight on my feet, fight on the ground. Is it true? Yes. And if I'm a stand-up, how do I get back up on my feet from the ground? Or how do I prevent going down to the ground? You have to keep strategizing on the basis of what's relative to your strengths to his what? His weakness. He could be the best fighter in the world, stand-up. And you could be a really good stand-up fighter. But you ain't going to duke it out with Lennox Lewis in a boxing match. You've got to find another way of beating Lennox Lewis. Is it true? Yeah. Or if you're going to fight up against John Smith in a free fight, star fight, you've got to find another way of not going to the ground and wrestling. So, what we end up with, basically, is that we end up with a stance that is both, it can probe, and it can what? Go square. You know, it's on the basis that the square is representing the fact that you can sprawl. Does it make sense? That doesn't mean if your foot gets too far in front of you, you can't kick out. So you can actually kick that leg out in the sprawl. So you can kick back and just kick the leg back. So you're actually going to kick out. So we do that in a second. So that's it. So notice, if you're watching Bernie, he can either go back with his feet square on that sprawl and sprawl, so he can sprawl that way, or if his leg's more pronounced forward, he could kick out with his left leg. You see it? So he's actually going back at an angle. You don't suddenly, if you're a little bit side on, you don't try to square up. You've got to sprawl where you are. Yeah. Does it make sense? Yeah. So we need a stance, if you like, that's going to facilitate me being able to probe. It's going to facilitate me being able to sprawl. It's going to facilitate me being able to kick and punch. Yeah? Yeah. So if we look at your stance again, we look at that stance. That's it. You've got to square that up. Now your hands, if you like, your body, when you're fighting, is always protecting this leg. See, if we look at Rock's position, his hands are across his leg. You see that? So if I'm shooting in on this leg, it means that his hands have got to adjust over to get me. Are you with me? Yeah. So look, you can see it. My hands are this way, and I'm fighting with my hips angled off, which is good, but my body's angled off as well, which means my right hand is what? Not active. It's off the steering wheel. Does that make some sense? Yeah. So you've got to find a way that I can load up this left hand. This left hand is loaded. So this left hand is what? This left hand's ready to what? Come out. It's already loaded. Which is the weakest hand, essentially? The left. So how would you strengthen it? You just put a little bit of twist on that. Just a little bit of twist. It now means anybody coming into you, you're covering off this covering this way. If he's coming into you, he's cutting up. You've already given the angle to cut off across you. So if you're coming in, here I'm a two-fisted fighter now. I'm two-fisted with my hand, but I'm not square with my body. Does it make sense? Yeah. Now you're just going square with your body.